Namaskar. Today I'm going to show you a very famous South Indian dish. It comes from the region of my parents, Karnataka, Manglore, and this is a coconut shrimp curry. It's made out of coconut. You can use fresh coconut for that, as in the coastal region they have plenty of fresh coconut, but here in the States we have to do sometimes with coconut milk, coconut powder, things like that, but you can use any of those. I'm going to show you what the ingredients are for that, and it's right here. I need some water, which is right here in the jug. I've got some dry coconut. As you see, I've got two types. I've got a 2 tablespoons of this called, it's a Maggi coconut milk powder mix. This is Chinese or Thai. I picked it up from a Chinese store. You can use that. And this other one, which is 3 tablespoons, is the coconut, the dry coconut. And this I picked up from the Indian grocery store. So 3 of that and 2 of that. And now this one is the one which they use to, which they make the coconut milk from. So that is kind of the dry coconut milk. In the other things, I have a small piece of ginger. I've got 6 cloves of garlic here, 3 there. Got about 5 green chilies, and I've got turmeric. This is called tamarind. This is this comes from Thailand, but at any Indian store you can find that. I bought that. It's fairly cheap. It's like for $2 this whole pack. And in Hindi this is called imli, and tamarind is the English word for that. And I'm using about this much to go in there, so that will go in there. And I've got about 8 or 10 whole red chilies. I've got about 1.5 medium-sized onion. I'm going to use salt, which is namak, haldi, turmeric, whole jeera, that's whole cumin seeds, and whole coriander seeds. Now the reason I'm using these whole and the red chili is because they all are supposed to be grinded up into a fine paste, and when you're using whole spices, you're getting the maximum taste of the spice, because you're not losing the taste of the spice when it's ground and kept for a long period, where this is where you lose your taste. So all these ingredients are going to be added to my blender mixer, and we're going to grind it up to a fine paste. The second part is a tadka, which goes first in the pan, and then of course that ingredients are added to it. Now all the dry ingredients are ready to go into that blender, but of course what we are missing, we're missing the shrimp. That's what we need for making the shrimp curry. And the shrimps are in my freezer, so we're going to go ahead and take the shrimp out. Okay, I'm going to use this pack here. Now this is a 2-pound already deveined and cleaned shrimp. I'm going to use that, but if you're near a seafood market and you can get a shell-on shrimp, that's fine too. The shells will give it a better taste to your curry. Of course you'll have to peel them off while you're eating, but I'm going to use this. So let's go ahead and get our masala ready for our shrimp curry. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to first of all add my coconut powder in my blender. Next goes 6 cloves of garlic in there. I'm going to keep these rest for the second part of that. In goes my tamarind and my whole red chilies. I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, haldi, in there. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of cumin, the whole cumin, jeera. and I'm going to put 1.5 tablespoon of the whole dhania, the coriander seed. So 1.5 tablespoon of that. And I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of salt in it. The salt can be later on, of course, check to see. If it's less, you can modify that. Make sure always have less salt and then add it later on instead of having more salt which you can't remove. So all that, and I'm going to add some water to this thing. Now just put enough water in there where it can easily grind. And out of the 1.5 onions I had, I'm going to take 1 onion. I've roughly chopped it up. These are rough chopped so they can easily grind in there, and they go in there. I'm leaving the half back for later on. As you can see, my adrak, which is ginger, my 3 cloves, my green chilies, and half an onion is left for later on. So all that is done. Now only thing I have to do is close that, and I'm going to use this on full power. So I've got it turned all the way to the maximum, and I'm going to turn this on. Let's do that, might work better. Well, it took me about 3 minutes to get this thing into a fine paste. I've got a pan with the lid on, about 2 tablespoons of oil. What I've done is I've taken my half onion which was there, and I've thinly sliced it, and have cut it right in the middle. So that's how your onion is. The onion goes right in there. That's the first thing you're going to add to your... I'm going to keep this on high because I want the onion to brown fast. Now what you're looking for is the onion to brown. In the meantime, I've taken that piece of ginger. It was actually too much, so I reduced some, and I've cut into, first I've sliced it into thin slices, then went into even thinner slices. So I've done that. I've got 3 cloves of garlic which I had. I'm going to just smash this garlic. That's all you need to do. 1, 2, and 3. That's all there is. So you smash your garlic and your ginger. In the meantime, you're again browning your onions. So just wait for the onions to brown, and once your onion is brown, your ginger and your garlic will go in there, and the ground paste will go in there. If you want to take a look at this took me about 3 minutes to grind, and that's how fine that thing has become. Now depending on your blender, sometimes you might have a blender which takes longer to mix that, to grind it. Make sure, feel it with your fingers, see if it's a fine paste or not. If you have grainy texture in it, that means the coriander and cumin hadn't fully grounded in it. Leave it on for some more time and let it grind. Now as you can see, my onion has already browned, so this is what I'm looking for, nice and brown color. Once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and add this ginger and garlic. I'm not looking for frying that, so it's a quick, and in goes my masala. I'm going to lower my flame, and now this is something you need to keep handy. Keep some water handy because you need to add that right away, as that is going to, it doesn't have that much water in it, so it's going to splash all over the place. So go ahead and add water. I think I can use a little more water in there. So now this is how much water you need in there, because you have to make sure that this boils for a little bit. But this is how it looks, and this time I'm going to check my salt. Now I'm feeling it needs a little more salt, so this is a good time you want to add your salt if it's less. So in my case I'm going to go with another less than half a teaspoon. And we're going to just shut it down, put it on high because I want this to boil, and I'm going to let it boil for about, I would say, 5 minutes. So let it boil for 5 minutes. Once that is boiled, we are going to take some of our green chilies and we're going to add that to it, and then our shrimp will go in and it should be done. So a very simple recipe. It takes very less effort to make it, but it tastes superb. It's one of the most liked recipes from the south. So we'll come back after 5 minutes till this masala is all boiled and all mixed up, and we'll add our green chilies and our shrimp. So been about 5 minutes, 5-6 minutes, and I'm going to add my green chilies to it. Now, like I've always said, it's totally up to you. If you don't like hot food, go with less than what I've showed you. The red chilies, the whole red chilies, I've put about 10 of those. You can reduce that to 3 or 4, it's up to you. Green chilies, 1 or 2, or you can totally skip the green chilies too. Once I've added the green chili, the water I want to mention what I've put in, there was about 4 cups of water in it. So 5 minutes of that. I'm going to now go ahead and grab my shrimp and open that up. Alright. So the shrimp are going to go in there. Once I've added the shrimp, I'm going to mix this up, and I'm going to let this boil now for another about 3 minutes, I would say. So leave it boiling for 3 minutes on high and your shrimp curry is done. So we'll come back after 3 minutes and see what this is doing. Welcome back. Now shrimp curry is ready. It took me a little more than the 5 minutes I initially told you after adding the shrimp for the water to boil. The shrimp itself, as they were frozen, let a lot of water out from the shrimp. So it took me about 10 minutes for the shrimp to get ready. Now what you're looking for, this is the end product, what you get. What you're looking for, a gravy which has about this much thickness in there. So that's the thickness you're looking for. And this shrimp curry goes very well with just plain white rice. So my next video is going to be showing how to make restaurant style plain white rice. You go to the restaurants, they always tend to taste better up there. I'll show you how to do that. And again, I thank you all for watching my video. Please come back and watch all my videos. I'll be adding a lot more new videos to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you again.